All right, everyone, welcome back. Today we will be discussing Venus and the sign of Sagittarius. But before I do, we must understand, what does Venus represent? So here I have a list of several things you can definitely find through your Venus placement. So starting off with attraction, what is something about you that people absolutely gravitate towards? Imagine having a perfume or cologne that's bottled up by what makes you specifically attractive. And it's just the same for what we are attracted to. And this isn't just exclusive to other people. Think soft beds, the finest linens, ocean views, comfort through tangible things, confidence or lack of confidence. To give you an example, Venus displays if we love to share our intellect but shy away from being center stage. Things that can make us feel uncomfortable, this can be seen through Venus. Money. Now, there are multiple ways to distinguish wealth or income or gains, but Venus guides you to your natural profession or your calling, meaning you could be exceptionally successful at this particular hobby or skill, which seems like you were born to do it. Venus also shows us how we like to spend on our comfort or things we like. An example, if you're highly into astrology, more than likely you've purchased multiple books, especially ones that go into great detail, because Venus is all about the details. The details like how we pay for things, the money we like to carry with us, the high profile credit cards with high limits, a wallet full of cash, or maybe no cash. Venus is always explained as a planet that likes luxuries and things with a high price tag. That can be true, but there are many things that look expensive, but it's actually very cheap or of poor quality. Venus represents things of value or of quality. And this leads me into the wife. In a men's chart, Venus represents the wife in the qualities that she has. She can be graceful, a very nice dresser, or even highly successful or a social butterfly. This can all be seen through Venus. Happiness. Our sensuality is something that can be seen very well through Venus. How alluring do we feel when it comes to the opposite sex? Or do we like to skip over intimacy and get right to the physical act? Our seductiveness can definitely be seen through Venus. Going out in nature, traveling, anything in the arts are all things that can make us happy or we take pleasure in. This is what the planet Venus can represent. If you love someone, let them go. If they return, that's how you know. This is Venus in Sagittarius. Here we have the planet Jupiter, the meaning of life and all you can discover in it, coupled with the love planet Venus. The planet Jupiter is about our higher self, our elevation to our higher self, our awareness, the why in our life. Venus is about material comfort, stability, luxury. We now have a spiritual planet combined with a material planet. The sign of Sagittarius expresses itself as learning all you can learn, traveling as much as you can travel, interacting with as many people you can meet, and in the end, tying together not just all you've discovered, but what it all means and how we're all connected. One thing is for certain, if you have Venus in Sagittarius, you will constantly have to check yourself to make sure you are not going overboard. And this means overboard in your ego, overboard in your duties to humanity, overboard in your ideologies, or even overboard in your gullibility. Jupiter is the largest known planet in the solar system next to the sun. When we think size of the planet, let's think size of the person. I could mean physically, but I want to magnify the size of the respect, knowledge, intuition, and wisdom that the Venus in Sagittarius naturally is gifted with. It's so great or so large that they are usually more evolved than their surrounding environment. Before age 30, the Venus in Sagittarius may not have an inclination to indulge in spirituality, but their curiosity of life is a subconscious preface to the life that lies ahead. Another reason why in their younger years they could be subjected to much restriction. As they get older, their quest for knowledge and spiritual fulfillment increases. And by now, if they haven't already, they will want to move the animal side shown in their dualistic symbol around to people and places that will get them answers. The Venus in Sagittarius loves their freedom, and what better way to grant this freedom in their life but by working hard and amassing as much information as they possibly can. In doing so makes them instant assets to society, as people not only enjoy their company, but always are picking up something they didn't know before they met the Venus in Sagittarius. Professionally, these are excellent scholars, professors, spiritual guides, lawmakers, priests, anything to do with higher learning or the higher self. These people are natural at it. The Venus in Sagittarius are all about enriching others, regardless of what the material gain is. And this is what makes them true humanitarians. One thing is for certain, they cannot thrive professionally in careers that bog them down or have a strong level of mundaneness to it. And at this point, you have broken a bone in the leg of the Sagittarian horse, and they will only feel suffering after. And because they know this about themselves, they make it energetically clear to their environment. The same rules apply to a relationship with the Venus in Sagittarius. They are highly attracted to beautiful partners with a beautiful mind. Even if they are semi-attracted to you physically, share all you know, discuss your ideologies and what you've learned in this life thus far, and you have them hooked. Remember, they love learning and have an unquenchable thirst for it. You can never teach or enlighten them enough. The added bonus is to also be funny or slightly risky because Sagittarius rules the thrill in life. This sapiosexual attraction can make the Venus in Sagittarius say I do way before they're actually ready. When reality sets in, they can have an adverse reaction to their need-to-do list in relationships, like spending consistent time with their kids, cleaning, doctor's appointments, visiting relatives. In my own observations, I find the Venus in Sagittarius giving many apologies or huge makeup gifts for the time lost or broken promises that they were obligated to. The women with Venus in Sagittarius are adventurous, easygoing, and can come off hard to tie down. People tend to confuse the Aquarian woman as the non-traditionalist who will never be a housewife or a homemaker, but in reality, that is the Venus in Sagittarius woman. The Aquarian woman is willing to try out many hats, just as long as she still feels like herself at the end of the day. A Venus in Sagittarius woman is not that compromising. And to be honest, they more than likely demonstrated in the beginning of the relationship that they love change and they don't mind the next day being different from the last. The sign of Sagittarius is a masculine sign ruled by a masculine planet. This side of Jupiter takes action. When they're feeling discomfort, maybe they will flee to hang out with friends. Maybe they will find some work to catch up on. But a continuous burden of can and can't do's in a relationship can lead them astray, and sometimes into the arms of another person who's giving them that recharge. For the men with Venus in Sagittarius, more than likely they have completely engulfed a substantial amount of time into their work, where their personal life can take a back seat. They can have a what's good for the goose is good for the gander mentality, if you understand that term. The Venus in Sagittarius man has not only become a necessity at his profession, but he has a host of people who enjoy his humor and optimistic nature. So he may even be guilty of delaying his time to attend to his personal life and his responsibilities because he actually likes what he does for a living and has a home where he absolutely loves to be. And that's through his work and even traveling for work. For men and women, Venus likes the intimacy and closeness between two people. And if one is always escaping, which is ruled under Jupiter, then when is the Venus side of this combination going to be loved? Do you love your work and all that comes with it more than you love your spouse and family? The answer may be yes if the Venus in Sagittarius just wants to end the argument. But their actions will always make you wonder. These are the innovators of the zodiac, so you can only imagine who, what, where, and when they're spending their time and who they're spending their time with when you're in a relationship with the Venus in Sagittarius. The value and respect astrology deserves will never be enough because it can help you avoid lack of compatibility with a partner. If you know that the Venus in Sagittarius runs with a no limitations mindset, then you understand at some level you have to be prepared to run with them because they aren't going to slow down. Jupiter is a slow-moving planet. Although the daily rotation of Jupiter is fast, which represents how much the Pisces and Sagittarius can accomplish and how far ahead they are mentally and spiritually than others, it can take them at a minimum of a third of their life to come to awareness of their self-fulfillment. This is why partners, close friends, family, and anyone personally acquainted with them can feel like they are interacting with a totally different person when the Venus in Sagittarius begins their journey into their life purpose or finding their higher self. The godly side of the Sagittarian symbol who is now aiming to travel and understand the universe. And in this life, whatever the Venus in Sagittarius has discovered to be wrong, unjust, or ungodly, he or she hopes to correct. These adventures can lead them to foreign lands, picking up cultures, languages, and even partnering with someone from a different race or a different culture, all for the love of learning, acceptance, and connecting the human race. Life is an experiment for them, but they must tame their ego and be careful that they are not exchanging their research with their own personal beliefs that can offend or harm others. The last thing I would like to mention is the ninth house in Sagittarius being the ruler of this house. So, your identity seen through your morals, ideologies, and principles, mastery of your energy, and what you have learned on the journey can be seen through this house and this sign. To have a love life or to love life. Venus and Sagittarius. I would like to thank everyone for taking the time out to watch this presentation, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.